Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, we're never going to see the royal palm on somebody's Thanksgiving dinner table.
Absolutely not.
We'll tell you why this turkey is off the menu. And these snakes are small right now.
They can be a danger to somebody, a child, a pet. These are not native to Florida.
But they can get more than 20 feet long. Why having one as a pet isn't as easy as it used to be. And a sugar glider as a pet? In this week's Pet of the Week, we find out more about this flying marsupial. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. Hello and welcome to Animal Outtakes. I'm Marcia Panucci, and this is my best friend, Zeus. When you think of Thanksgiving, this bird is a predominant attraction, the turkey. Native to North America, wild turkeys are found throughout a large part of the United States. But one species of turkey is on a decline. The royal palm first originated in Florida, but now is listed as an endangered species. You can still hear one gobble, though, at Sarasota's Jungle Gardens in Florida. Liz, it's hard to believe that we would be talking about a turkey being endangered, but they really are. Certain species are, correct?
Correct, yes ma'am.
And what do you have here at Sarasota Jungle Gardens that we've got to watch and protect?
We have a couple things here. We actually have a heritage breed turkey. The male is actually called a royal palm. The royal palm is actually originated from Lake Worth, Florida, started back in the 1920s. Then we also have a cross, Franklin's mate, the female. She is a bronze cross.
We created these turkeys here in Florida, Florida bred. What makes them an endangered species?
An endangered species, these guys, they aren't producing them for food anymore. That's why they originally started breeding these guys, to get them as big and as full as possible.
So we can assume that maybe our early settlers were the ones that somehow took a couple of breeds and crossbred, and now we have this beautiful, beautiful turkey here. Now tell us a little bit about Franklin. He is full of personality, and one thing we notice is that any man that comes along, he's ready to attack.
Absolutely. He's definitely trying to assert himself at the very, very top of the hierarchy in here. And you can definitely tell that he's trying to show off anytime any male testosterone comes around.
Now those beautiful feathers, the fan of feathers that we see, absolutely gorgeous. And we've been observing him now for quite a bit of time, and those feathers stand so regal. Do they ever go down?
They do go down. They lay down whenever he's sleeping, or if he's eating and really, really calm, his feathers will lay down. He is just all fluffed out just to show how handsome he is.
So we know that Franklin has a lot of plumage.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're telling me that there's really some muscle and some body underneath there.
Yeah, there's some muscle under there. Franklin, the toms, they'll top out at 22 pounds. The females, the hens, they will top out at 12 pounds.
So it does beg the question, we're never going to see the royal palm on somebody's Thanksgiving dinner table.
Absolutely not.
Well, thank goodness.
Yes.
Okay, Liz, as regal as Franklin is, she's beautiful. Look at this beautiful plumage and the beautiful pattern that nature has created. What's her name?
This is Aretha.
Oh, of course, Aretha. So we know that Franklin is a royal palm. What breed is she?
She is a bronze cross.
Well, she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous. So one of the things that comes to mind, this beautiful plumage that she has, does she ever molt?
She does pluck her feathers, but other than that, she doesn't molt big time like a lot of the smaller birds do.
Now, I noticed that Franklin has his eye on her. Is there a possible love affair going on?
They're absolutely a love affair. They are a mated pair, so he is very aware that I am holding his girlfriend right now.
I see, I see. Who takes care of who? Does she take care of him, or does he take care of her?
You know, I would like to say that he takes care of her. She's not fond of him following her around all the time, but he does take care of her.
What type of food does she eat? I'm sure the same as Franklin eats.
Yep, they eat grain and corn.
And so that kind of gets them a little plump, huh?
Absolutely.
So again, we would not see Aretha and Franklin on anybody's Thanksgiving dinner table.
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, we're happy about that. So what sound does a turkey make? Gobble, gobble. Well, only if you are a male turkey. Females make more of a chirping sound. Now here's another one for you. So what do you think? Is a turkey fast or a slow bird? Don't be fooled by this bird's large size. Turkeys can run up to 25 miles per hour, and yes, they can fly, and fast too, up to 55 miles per hour. This next animal is popular in the pet trade, but it is an invasive species right here in Florida. The Bernese Python starts small, but these snakes can get really big, and with few predators in the wild, they can compete with native species for food. So now, owning one of these snakes takes special permitting, and you are about to see their appeal. These snakes can be bred in some amazing colors and patterns.
See the snake, the skin matches your jacket there.
It does. I just can't get over how she got dressed today just for me.
And just like the monitor lizards, they'll hold on to you like you did to feel warmth and stuff and move around. And the lighter you hold a snake, the less it feels threatened. And that way it won't try to bite you or harm you, it just moves away. It's not trying to hurt anybody. These are Burmese and they can get up to 20, 22 feet. You know, I've never really seen one 22 feet. I've seen them 18, but they're out there. And these are the ones that they have walking around or crawling around out in South Florida that have become a problem. This is a species of concern, and it's a animal that's loose in South Florida, and there's a lot of havoc caused with them due to hurricanes, pet trade, and a lot of different situations, so on and so forth. So these are very regulated animals, and you should know what you're getting into, and it's not a snake that somebody should just have.
No, she, you know, as beautiful as she is, she's going to be a big girl. And you have to be so very, very careful with these snakes. Now, what does their diet consist of other than hosts?
Other than hosts. Well, at this age, it would just be a thumb, thank goodness.
Oh, okay, all
but
right.
Rodents, birds, anything it can grab, small alligators, anything it could grab a hold of, which is why it could be a problem, especially down south. They can be a danger to somebody, a child, a pet. These are not native to Florida. Right. So our wildlife, once they become adults, they don't have hardly, if any, predators once they're full grown, other than an alligator big enough to eat it. Other than that, the only time they can be picked off, which a lot of them are, is by birds and such. A hypo probably wouldn't live very long. An albino wouldn't live very long, or any of that type of stuff, because they're spotted right away. Owls, birds, fish, turtles, gators, everything would eat them. Possums, raccoons, you name it, fox.
So if one of these was to be found, let's say, on our terrace, or in near our swimming pool, just by accident,
right,
what do we do, Troy?
Well, 9 times out of 10, that's probably somebody's that they either shouldn't have had it or it has escaped. You should call your Florida Fish and Wildlife right away, or if you have an animal control removal company that you're familiar with, you can contact them and they'll get in the proper authorities and they'll contact someone like us.
Well, you know, now I've kind of got the hang of this.
Look at that.
And look at
You've made a friend.
I have. I've really made a friend. And I'd like to make a friend with you now, but not in a couple of years.
Well, I'm sure we'll be back when she's a lot bigger.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
You can wear her like a necktie then.
Yes,
huh?
but right now she just is a lovely little creature that nature created again. The effects of wild Bernese pythons in Florida are still unknown. Researchers are still collecting data on the species to better understand their impact. It is illegal to release any non-native species into Florida. Guess who is up next? Stay with us.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dantes Den. an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dantes Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dantes Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
Welcome back. They have sharp talons and a hooked bill, key characteristics of a bird of prey. But that probably isn't what comes to your mind when you first think of an owl. But the owl is a predator, and a wise one at that. This is awesome, and I'm told I can pet him, and he's just so soft, and his name is Leo. Tell me about Leo.
Well, this is Leonidas. Leonidas, he is an Eurasian eagle owl, one of the largest owl species in the world. And he's still very young. He's only about 1.5 years old, but he is full size, as big as he's going to get.
And he's turning this way, but when we get to see that beautiful face, he has the most unusual eyes. Look at that color. It's just bright orange. And tell us about the coloring of that.
Well, different owl species have different eye colors. He happens to have the orange deal. When he gets a little older, they'll turn a little reddish tint that he has now, but that's just about the color that his eyes are going to be.
Now, he seems calm and cuddly, is he?
No, he's still a very, very powerful bird of prey. He's not like we see on TV that he's a little messenger bird or anything like that. He's very powerful. You see this big feet that he has right here? He has over 500 pounds of pressure per square inch in those talons that he has right there.
Well, those are good hunting tools, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Now, what's his keenest sense? Is it the eyesight?
It's eyesight. That's how he catches most of his prey, is through eyesight. You can see very, very far, the smallest thing moving around. They're also silent flyers. So the prey never know that he's coming. He flies down, and that's how he gets his meal.
He's like a drone. He just kind of comes in for the landing, huh? He really does seem calm.
Yeah,
Yeah?
he's calm.
Do you think he'd be calm over here?
We're gonna see.
Okay.
You ready, Leo? Now close your fist.
Like so?
Yeah, close your fist.
Okay. Well, look at that. Now, Leo, let's talk about this. You are not a lightweight. You were right. There is some weight on here. How much would you say he weighs?
He weighs close to 4.5 pounds today.
He feels like a ton.
Most people don't think 4 pounds is a lot of weight because we compare it to us humans.
Right.
But for the bird that doesn't have any motors, to be able to fly at that weight is a very heavy bird.
This bird is highly intelligent.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
He is following each and every one of our cameras here, and he's kind of trying to figure out, is this my good side or is this my good side? Now, we notice the way he's turning his head.
Yes.
It's not 360, is it?
No, one of the biggest myths with owls, they could turn their head 360 degrees, and they cannot, physically cannot do that. The reason they turn their head is because they cannot move their eyes. They do not have eyeballs, they have eye tubes, so their eyes are placed in their head. So unfortunately, to be able to look around, they have to turn their head. Now, if any animal turns their head 360 degrees, it could do it just once in a lifetime.
Yeah, and that was it. That would be it, right?
Exactly.
We would call it the end.
The end. But
Yes.
he can move his head, different species, from 180 degrees to 220 degrees. They could move all the way one side and then turn it the other way. Now, the way they're able to do that is they have an extra vertebra in their neck, and also their blood vessels are very thick. That way they don't get pinched when they turn their head. And that's how they don't pass out when they hold their heads like that for long periods of time.
Now, what is the life expectancy of him?
Eagle owls have been known to live almost 40 years in captivity. So they do live for a very long time.
Would somebody want him as a pet?
No.
No.
No. They do not make great pets because they're very independent. They're not a social animal where it's going to come and give you hugs and kisses compared to a parrot. They do eat a lot and they're very powerful. Like I said, those feet there, if you're not very careful, could do a lot of damage to you. And that very powerful beak as well.
These talons down here are just gripping, and I can imagine when they get some prey in there. That's it. It's over with. There's no coming back from that.
Lunch is served.
Yes, lunch is served. Louis, it's always amazing to me. We see these gigantic eyes, a rather smallish beak, but we know powerful.
Yes.
But the smallest of ears.
Well, to big surprise, those are not his ears.
Oh, well, they're beautiful, whatever they are. Tell us.
Those are either called his horns or his little tassels, and they use that as their camouflage. If you look at him on the side, he looks just like a big piece of tree, a piece of wood, and up here it looks like little branches, and that's why they hunt. The reason they call owls the old wise owl is not because they know how to read books and are very intelligent in college. It's because of the way they hunt. Different birds of prey go out there, fly around looking for food. The owl will perch themselves very high in a tree and wait for the prey to come to him. Now, when we see TV and cartoons, all the animals in the forest are coming to him asking for advice and direction.
Yes.
In reality, it's dinner. So, if you see him very high, there's a little branches, and that's his camouflage, and he's almost invisible in top of the tree, so the prey never see him coming.
I can't begin to tell you how amazing this is to be so close to such a magical bird. Just magic is right here with both of us. Leo the owl is so smart, he even has social media figured out. He has his own Facebook and Instagram accounts. I know what you're thinking. What a hoot! They have a thin membrane that stretches between its front and back legs. And it is this which acts like a parachute that allows the sugar glider to fly. But do you want one of them flying around your home? Well, we'll find out more about this animal in this week's Pet of the Week.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Weighing less than a pound, a sugar glider is a cute little marsupial that some people keep as a pet. But before you go taking off and getting one of these gliders, we checked in with Dr. Don to find out how these flying possums are as a pet. We have this cute little guy in here, and his name is Rocky.
Rocky.
What is he, a flying squirrel or what?
Pretty much. He is a flying marsupial squirrel from Australia and down Indonesia way. And they're nocturnal, so another great vampire pet, and not the greatest pet. Look at that, look at that.
Oh my goodness, there you go. There's his so-called wingspan.
Yes, they can glide.
Yes.
And they're nocturnal, so right now it's about 2 in the morning, and here we are with bright lights waking them up. How would you like to be woken up at 2 in the morning, rapid eye movement, part of sleep, and somebody's, hi, do something entertaining. I invite you.
Yeah.
Luckily, these things are pretty darn docile. Sugar gliders can live over 10 years, and they like to be in pairs. They don't like to be alone.
They're not solitary.
Not a solitary animal, and it causes them like just stress, you know, if they are alone. They're a marsupial. They have a gestation period of 15 days.
Wow.
No kidding. And they give birth to, basically a fetus. It weighs 0.19 grams. A nickel in your pocket weighs 5 grams. So this thing is like a 20th of a nickel. It weighs less than a pea. And they usually have two, and they climb out of their reproductive parts, and they attach to a nipple, and they just sit there. And it takes about, oh gosh, 120 days to wean. You see a little head sticking out of their pouch, and you go, wow, hey, it had a baby. They're sexually mature in about a year.
Now, how do you know if Rocky's going to take off in flight?
Luckily, we're in a sugar glider safe room. Food. Their diet is another thing that they really haven't 100%, I think, worked out yet. So their food in these guys, they do make sugar glider pelleted foods. They get some insects like mealworms, that kind of stuff. And I like to mix their food with a little bit of applesauce. And I personally feed them off like a seashell, because they often hypocalcemic, and they look in a seashell and they get a couple parts per million of calcium in their diet that way. Too cool. So they're not, once again, not for everybody, not for kids. You want something to hug and feel and touch and play with, you get your kid a Labrador Retriever, a Golden Retriever. They live about as long.
And he wants to go to bed, so I guess we have to put his little blankie on, and there he goes, and
that's it.
He's out. Done. Sugar gliders are definitely not the perfect pet for a lot of people. And as Dr. Don said, you should be careful if you wish to get one. And as with any new animal, do your research first. Now here's an interesting fact for you. So how far can a sugar glider fly? The entire length of a football field. Coming up next, let's go over to Dr. Dog for some helpful advice.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dantes Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dantes Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org. Thanks for staying with us. Let's head over to Dr. Dog for some helpful food advice.
Feeding your pet. I recommend that you stay consistent. So meaning, with a puppy, you need to feed them 3 times a day until around 3 months of age, 4 months of age, then it can be fed twice a day. They'll generally eliminate the one they don't want. Some animals, some dogs are free feeders. You can leave food available for them and they won't engorge themselves. It depends a lot about their personality and how they're trained. I recommend you stay with the same dog food that works. Once you've decided on something, and with your veterinarian's help and your pet's cooperation, that works, you're better off not having a lot of variety, because then you confuse them. And they might be looking for that little extra thing that you gave them the other day off the table, and then pretty soon they're being more difficult with ingesting what you want them to do. The other thing is, when your pet becomes a little finicky, do not make a social thing out of it. Don't go up to them and tease them, come on, let's try this, whatever, you should eat this, because pets can go 2 weeks without eating as long as they're getting water, healthy pets. So if you're having a problem, what I recommend is you put the pet's food down in the area you feed them, walk away. Don't make a big deal of it. After 20, 30 minutes, if they haven't been eating anything, pick it up. Then the next meal time, put it back down, walk away again. Your pet's never going to starve itself. You know, but we have a thing for our pets, and that we're worried after a day if they haven't eaten, especially when they're spoiled. So those are my recommendations for pet owners, to make sure you stay consistent, stay with the same diets that work. Occasional treats, fine, but don't make a big deal of it, because, don't make it that often, because what happens, especially if they're eating off the table, you become really problematic, and we've all gone through it. So those are my recommendations. If you follow them, you'll be well off. You know, upwards of over 50% of our pets are overweight. And it's the same reason: not enough activity, too much taking in, not putting enough out. So these are things we talk about to our clients very early, especially if we notice that when we weigh the pets constantly. We notice they're getting overweight. We try to. One of the things the client does, sometimes clients hold back information, and it's the husband that fed the extra food, or the wife, or the kids. But so I tell them, you have to have a family, meeting. So we all have to agree that this is what we're going to do, because the most important thing is having a healthy pet. So the program's set up if you have an overweight pet with your veterinarian, and you have to stay true to it, otherwise it doesn't work. And to be honest with you, some people just can't get their pets to lose any weight because they can't change their behavior. I really have to change the behavior of the pet owner before you can actually make a difference in your pet's weight issues.
Great advice from the doc as usual. We hope that you've had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. Zeus and I will be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Marcia, can you take one half?
Yeah, as soon as I save the microphone.
T-Rex, stop eating people's stuff. Go somewhere.
Huh.
She won't. Just let her move real still and don't squeeze her. That's all you have to do. Just see how she's. They've been right out of the egg, right into people's hands.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of aggression.
Let's get going here.
She matches your jacket.
She does. We're color coordinated. We'll find out more about this animal in this week's Pet of the Week. That'd be the day I'd have that thing flying around.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. When severe weather strikes, trust ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you. The ABC 7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.